In this video, I'm going to share my favorite 7 Instagram hacks for real estate agents. Hey everybody, Katie Lance here, and I help real estate agents get smarter about social media, and today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, Instagram. And there are so many little hacks and secrets that I love that I'm going to share. It's hard to break it down just to a few, but I'm going to share my favorite 7 today, and I know you're going to love it, so let's dig in. Tip number 1, add music to your stories. Now, this is not necessarily a hack because I'm sure some of you are like, of course I know how to add music to my stories, but that's not the full hack. And by the way, if you don't know how to add music to your stories, when you're creating an Instagram story, there's a little sticker button. It looks like a little square emoji button. Click on that and that's going to give you a little pop-up, which is going to give you lots of options. You can add stickers and polls and questions and all kinds of good stuff. And one of those is a music option. So click that music sticker and you can add and you can search for music. And if you're like me, sometimes I don't know what kind of music I want to look for, so I will search by topic. So you can search by happy or sunset or flowers or spring or summer, or you can search for a specific artist. Now, by the way, speaking of music, I gave a huge music tip in my last video. I gave some tips around trending music and trending audio. So if you're struggling a little bit with finding the right audio and the right music, watch my last video. We're going to drop it in the description below so you can check that out. So after you've added music, here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize you can do on a story. You can actually take that audio and drag it off screen. Don't drag it to the trash can, but drag it off screen. So now people can still hear it, but it's not taking up valuable real estate, no pun intended. It's not taking up valuable real estate on your screen. So add music, but swipe it off screen. That way you don't necessarily have to see, the little, thing with the music on it or the lyrics. Just move it off screen. And also there's a little sticker inside of Instagram that says sound on. When you add that to your story, if someone taps that, it's actually going to turn the sound on. Now, you don't have to have the sticker for people to know that the sound is on, but sometimes we're watching Instagram and our sound is really down, we don't have it up, and maybe we don't realize that there's music behind it. So you can add that little sticker and if someone taps it, it'll turn their sound up, and it's really, again, a little great hack to get people to interact with your Instagram stories. So a little twofer there in that first tip. Tip number 2, in your Instagram stories, you can create a close friends list. Now, this is something I hadn't done for a long time, and I recently did this a few months ago, and I have to tell you guys, I am absolutely loving it. As your Instagram account grows, and if you have a public account, you're going to be in front of a lot of people, right? And so as you grow your account, you think about what you want to share, what you don't want to share. There might be parts of your life that you want to share, but you don't maybe want to share to everybody. So I created a close friends list with some of my close friends and family. So if I'm sharing something, maybe a personal picture of my kids at their birthday party, I may not want that to go to all 40,000 of my followers. Maybe I just want it to go to a small group, a small segment. And we've actually seen a lot of folks in real estate use this close friends list in other ways as well. If you've got your clients or prospects that you are following or you're connected to on Instagram, and maybe you've got content in your story that you just want to share with them, you can add them to a close friends list as well. And then you can just share in your story specifically to that list. It's kind of like back in the day, a lot of you, if you've been around a long time, I used to love Facebook lists. I used to talk about it and teach it all the time. And so this is kind of a small little hack, if you will, to create a list within Instagram. Again, you can use it for just, again, close friends and family, or use it for your clients or your prospects. It's only available within Instagram stories, and people are not notified, by the way, if they are added or removed from your story. Now, when you post to your close friends list, you'll see a little green bubble that will appear around your story, and anyone who is in your close friends list will also see that green bubble. Kind of makes people feel special, I think, also to be included into a close friends list. So check that out. You can actually create that all within your settings right within Instagram. Tip number 3, moderate your comments. So spam, I feel like, is like at an all-time high on Instagram. And as your account grows, you're probably going to get more and more spam. You know, those comments that are like, promote your pick here, or check this out for Bitcoin, or whatever it might be. We all have seen those spammy comments, and we're wondering, like, what should we do with them? Well, first of all, I always delete them because I don't like spam on my account, my rules. I will delete those. But But I was hit with a lot of spam recently, and there's a way to go into your settings to put specific words in that you do not want to appear in your comments. So as an example, if you are seeing certain words come up all the time, like Bitcoin as an example, you can put that in as a word that you do not ever want to appear in your comments. So if there's some hot button words that you find are just like popping up often with your comments or phrases, right? Like send a pic to, that's an kind of a common sort of spam phrase, or send to such and such. You can put those phrases, you can put those words in your settings under moderation comments. And so again, what will happen is those comments won't even appear. You want to be careful. You don't want to put a ton of words in there, but look for ones that tend to pop up time and time again. If you're getting spam comments and you kind of see the same phrase or the same hashtag, that's a great thing to put in. And then guess what? Those comments just magically do not ever appear, and you don't have to worry about those type of spam comments. Now, you're still going to get spam periodically from time to time, but it definitely helps in a big, big way. Tip number 4, if you're using Instagram stories, did you know you can easily add your location right to your story, and you don't even have to go through that little sticker button? So when you're on stories, as a lot of you know, if you want to add your location, you create a story, and for most people, they click on that little square sticker. It's like a little square post-it note. It's that little square emoji, and that takes you to a pop-up, and that's where you can add polls and questions and GIFs and your location. And I recently, almost accidentally, discovered that when you are creating an Instagram story, you don't even need to go through all that to add your location. You can upload your story or just create your story and then just tap the screen, and you'll see a little button that'll pop up that says location. So you can easily add your location. Now, this is particularly great, I think, for real estate agents if you're trying to do content around a specific area. If you want to market yourself in a specific town or specific city or specific neighborhood, specific location, I think adding your location is key. Oftentimes I'll go to a real estate agent's Instagram profile and I have no idea what market they serve. So you want to be really consistent. If you're posting to your stories at least 3 to 5 times a week, I would think, especially as an agent, at least half of that content should be around your local area. So adding in that location sticker is key. And if you have a public account, adding in that location sticker is now going to get your stories typically in front of more people. So people who are looking for content in that specific area, even if they're not following you, oftentimes will see that content more often. So I love that little hack. By the way, if this has been helpful so far, we would love if you'd hit that subscribe button and the bell button, as we have new videos that come out each and every week. All right, let's get on with the tips. Tip number 5, use the Instagram question sticker in your stories. So again, back to Instagram stories. If you click on that little square emoji button, you're going to see lots of things that pop up, and one of those is the question button. Now, the mistake a lot of people make when using the question button is they ask a question that people don't want to answer. So the key to using this button is to ask a ridiculously simple question, something that people could answer with a couple words or two. So if you're in real estate, for example, I probably would not ask, are you looking to buy or sell? Like, that's a really big question. But you might say, what's the number one thing that you love about this town? Or if you had to describe this town in 3 words or less, what would you say? Or what's your biggest question when it comes to buying or selling real estate? So asking things that are somewhat easy to answer within a couple words is key. Now, the other thing is, when you are using that question sticker, you may not know this, here's a little hack, you can actually go in and add your own questions. So let's say you used a question sticker and you're like, nobody answered the questions. So you can actually go in and answer your own question with some of the things that you would say. So for example, if you do something around first-time home buyers, you might say, what are your biggest questions about buying a home for the first time? And maybe it's crickets, right? So you could go in as the creator and you could actually put in a few questions that then you could take your story and share those questions and use that as content. So it's a little bit of a hack. You can answer your own questions, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And then you can use that as inspiration for content. And if you've wondered where you can actually see the question answers, you need to go back to your stories, and at the bottom left-hand corner of your stories, you'll see who's watching your stories. Click on that and you'll see everyone who's watched your story, and you'll also see anyone who answered. And when you answer your own questions, they will be there as well. Now, the good news is when you're sharing those questions back to your story, oftentimes I'll ask a question and then the next day, 18 or 20 hours later, I will share those answers. So now I've got content for one day and I've got content for the second day. And when you share your questions to your story, even if you answer them, you don't see your name. So again, it's a great way to create some content and really leverage your knowledge, which is really fun. Hack number 6, did you know you can filter your feed by your followers? This is one of my favorite hacks. So you're on Instagram, and one of the things that kind of drives me crazy about Instagram is Instagram has an algorithm, as we all know. So when you're scrolling through Instagram, you're seeing people that you follow, you're seeing suggested posts by Instagram, and you're seeing ads. And it can be a little frustrating because you feel like, I just want to see people that I know. So when you're on your feed, when you're on your phone, in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the Instagram logo. Click that and you'll see a little drop down, and one of those says following. So click that and Instagram will then resort your feed, and then you will only see people you're following in chronological order from when they last posted, which is amazing, right? So if I do that, I can instantly see, oh, so-and-so posted 10 seconds ago, so-and-so posted a minute ago, right? And you'll see just people you follow in chronological order, no ads, no suggested posts. Now you do have to do that every time you go into Instagram, but I find this is a small thing that makes a big difference. Before I post something, I will usually go into Instagram, respond to my notifications, I will sort my feed by followers, I will engage with my followers in a meaningful way, then I'll post what I'm gonna post, and then I'll spend another few minutes, again, going through my feed, my followers' feed, to engage and connect with people. And again, that's gonna help you really reconnect with people who maybe haven't seen your content in some time. Hack number 7, you can create a favorites list as well. So I talked about lists earlier. You've got your close friends list that you can create, but you can also tag people and add them as favorites, which I absolutely recommend. This is a great way to stay top of mind with people. So what you're gonna wanna do is anyone that you want to add as a favorite, you can go to their profile. So if you wanna add me as a favorite, feel free to do that. You can go to my profile, add me to favorites, or add anybody. If you're following other coaches or trainers, or maybe you want to follow industry news, maybe you want to follow what's going on with NAR or your local association or Inman, you can add them to your favorites. Now, I recommend keeping your favorites list somewhat small. I would say around 10 to maybe 15 accounts at most. And what that's going to do is when you add an account to your favorites, first of all, it's going to pop up in your regular feed just naturally more. So if there's content you really like from certain people and you want to make sure you don't miss their content, add them to your favorites and then you'll automatically start seeing them more. But secondly, you can also go into Instagram, click on the Instagram logo, and instead of just looking at your followers, you can look at your favorites. So I love doing this, especially again for news or places to really stay up to date with what's going on. For me, I typically do this with folks who are talking about real estate, technology, social media, things like that. And it's again going to just basically be able to, I can look at those accounts quickly and easily. And for you, you might also do this for your clients, right? I mentioned earlier, you could put your clients into a close friends list. You could also add them to your favorites. So the close friends list is for more of you posting to your close friends, but when you're putting people into favorites, now you're seeing their content. And part of social media is not just you posting, right? It's making sure that you are engaging. So if you've got, let's say 5 or 10 clients that you absolutely love, they're active on Instagram, add them to your favorites, and then a couple times a week, look at your favorites feed, and what you're gonna see is the last few things that they've posted, and then you can take a few minutes to like, comment, and interact in a meaningful way. Okay, those are just a few of my favorite hacks. I would love to hear from you. Do you have a Instagram hack that you love, that you would love to share with our community? Drop it in the comments below, and drop your handle below as well. I want to make sure that you and I are connected over on Instagram, so drop your handles in the comments below. And last but not least, if you're looking for some additional training when it comes to Instagram, we would love if you download our free Instagram guide for real estate. Go to katielance.com/InstaGuide, katielance.com/InstaGuide. It's going to give you tons of tips, tools, and ideas to help take your Instagram for real estate to the next level. All right, we'll see you soon. I'll see you on Instagram.